if you think of the Indian pacers that people mention going to the auctions, no one brings up Natarajan's name. They just say Shami, Siraj, Arshdeep, Shami, Siraj, Arshdeep. No one really brings up Natarajan's name. So that could work to SRH's favor in buying him back for a cheaper price. But I don't think auctions are as like volatile as media to not look at Natarajan. Okay, guys, now let's talk about the released players or the players SRH have let go of prior to the IPL 2025 auction. And the first player I'd like to start off with is one of the stalwarts of the Sunrisers Hyderabad team over the past decade, a legend in his own rights, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. I mean, what can I say about the man? He's won numerous purple caps for SRH, led them to a title in IPL 2016 with his stellar bowling performances. Swing king, bowls amazingly with the new ball, can nail Yorkers at the death. Is towards the fag end of his career. He hasn't played international cricket in a while, but he is still quality and can bowl perfect line and length when needed, and is he's a player who can clutch up under pressure in the death overs as well. What do y'all think about that release?
Personally, Bowie is my favorite player every time. But yeah, we've seen many times that he has been released and he has been bought back in previous auctions. So I feel like it's the same. That's gonna happen the same here. If
Yeah, I
we do
agree.
not have money to go for him, then like yeah, I mean we'll be missing him. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, but I think we'll do our best to buy him back.
Yeah.
But I mean, we saw what he did last season. He single-handedly won us the game against RR.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that
So
game.
we know what he can do. So hopefully try to get him back. But yeah, Bowie's
Yeah,
one of my most core memories, especially as SRH. I mean, Swing King, right? One of the biggest
Yes.
ones.
Yeah. If he doesn't come back, I'll be greatly missing him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Just
I'd just
hope.
like to remind you all and the viewers that SRH have only one RTM left, and it's for an uncapped player, so they can't put it on Bhuvi or any other
Right.
capped Indian international player. So just reminding that. So if we want to get Bhuvi back, you have to buy him back in the normal way by bidding for him in the auction. It's the only way.
I think he'll be back.
It
I
might
think I
be tough.
think
He
for us
might
that
go.
the RTM person is gonna be Abdul Samad.
Okay,
Probably gonna be.
since you talked about him, we'll actually go to Abdul Samad himself.
Samad.
I mean,
Hey, Yatin, I also feel like the same way you feel. Abdul
Yeah.
Samad is a great player, and considering how we have groomed him over the years, I think we have to buy him back. See,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
criticize him for not scoring good and all, but like considering he only gets like 10 balls max in a game, like most of the games he only gets like less than 10 balls. What
Yeah.
what do you expect from him? He can't go
Right.
score 50 in like 10 balls.
Yeah.
Whatever he gives, you have to take it. Yes, we have been frustrated by him in other times, but we have groomed him, so let's continue with it. He
Yeah.
will one day for sure be a great player for SRH.
I mean, if you put a batsman on the spot, and like it's a chase situation, right? And you only give them 10 balls to play, and it's a slow wicket. What do you expect, right? They
Exactly.
go
I don't
in,
know. Uh,
they go in, and they're like, if they try to swing every ball, they're gonna get out. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how the game works. That's how the conditions work, especially in India. I mean, you really cannot do anything about the conditions. I mean, you can do something about the pitch, but at the end of the day, it's all about the conditions.
yes, and I also feel they should buy back Abdul Samad with that RTM card.
Yeah,
If
they
if
should.
if
Yeah,
if they don't use that RTM card, they that means they're going to buy him back for two base price or little more than base price. But Abdul Samad should be coming back to SRH.
yeah,
see, I agree with the comment that in 10 balls, what can you do? But to be honest, they retained him as an uncapped player in the previous mega auction cycle, gave him 3 years, gave him a decent amount of opportunities. Yes, I agree he didn't get too much time to bat in, but they've seen enough of him, and I don't know if they see that potential in him. He's played a few good knocks at the back end, but I don't know if he's done much to warrant retention. Otherwise, they could have just retained him as an uncapped player straight away for 4 crores if they were fixed that he is the future or an option that they could employ. I feel that putting him back in the auction means they're willing to let go of him. He's not in their long-term plans as of the moment.
okay, you're
But
you're saying that, right? So like we also put Bhuvi in the auction, right? Did we buy him back?
Last
you're talking
year,
about
last
last
mega
mega
auction.
auction?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, at that point, y'all were trying to like go in with a huge budget into the auction. I'm pretty sure only retained Kane Williamson as the major player, and then the two uncapped players in Umran Malik and Abdul Samad. So I think just trying to save space so that you could buy them back. But here it's different because at that time Boovy would have taken up a huge amount of money, huge amount of purse, which you couldn't have used on other players in the auction. So you got to steal off Boovy. But here Abdul Samad would have only been 4 crores anyway. So it's not like you're losing a lot of money to keep him in the first place. So I don't know if not retaining him for only 4 crores means if they value him that much, is my point.
I think they're guessing he'll come back for cheaper, either base price or a little more than base price. But yeah, we'll see.
But, I mean, okay, look, we've groomed him well. Well, like we've supported him. I mean, it doesn't matter how many games like he's failed, right? We've played him every game, or most of every game, right? And at the end of the day, if we're supporting that much, then wouldn't that mean that we actually want him to succeed, right? We're
I
we're
mean,
we're s- we're trying to set him up for success, right? And I get it. We had to release him, but we had so many other players that needed to be retained. Because okay, if you put a player like I don't know Abhishek Sharma, Nitish Kumar Reddy, or Travis Head, there was no chance because other people have basically released most of their players. Especially Delhi. Look at Delhi. They've released all their main players, right? They've retained two players. They didn't even release. They didn't even retain Pant.
Same with Punjab. We'll talk about both these teams later on,
Yeah.
but yeah.
yeah.
So they
But I mean, I do remember some great Abdul Samad innings, like when SRH hit 288 at the Chinnaswamy, he hit a great like 10 balls for 37 runs. He was
yeah.
just smacked it around. And I remember that RR game where they won off the no ball in the last ball. I think that was 2 years ago,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
he
Yeah.
hit that last ball six to win the game. So he has played some innings for SRH, but I don't know if they expected that consistency. But you said Abdul Samad is uncapped retention. I actually have another RTM for an uncapped, and that is would be Jataved Subramanian for me. I don't know how much y'all have seen of him, but he's a good prospect, leg spinner who bowls slow through the air, picks up wickets with his drift and has a sharp googly. And he's not really been uh no he's not really known around the circuit, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if people are scouting him at the moment, but
Yeah.
he bowls in a similar fashion to Yuzvendra Chahal. And as we know, the market for Indian spinners and quality spinners is very less at the moment. So trying to take someone like a Jataved Subramanian and groom him into how a Chahal is right now could be something SRH could be useful doing. Have y'all watched him play or heard anything about him to support this?
I personally am not.
Jatapet Subramaniam, he used to play. He's a great player. I've seen his few matches where he played in TMPL and he took some great wickets. So I feel like SRH, I think, will buy back him, but not as RTM. I think they'll buy. I don't think he will go for more than 2 crores. Since he's uncapped, his base price is around 50 lakhs, I think. I don't think he'll go more than 2 crores. So I doubt they'll use that RTM on Jatapet Subramaniam, but they'll definitely buy him back considering how they like to get back those Tamil players. We've
Yeah.
seen
Like
with
Yeah,
Natraj
see,
and
with Abdul Samad, they've already groomed him, right? They know how he plays. But like I'm sorry, Subramaniam.
yeah.
Okay, we don't really know his potential, and I know that we haven't utilized him that well. But I mean, maybe we want to buy him back on a base price, like we did Samad, and groom him slowly. But we've already groomed Abdul Samad, so we want to use that RTM card for
exactly.
possibly use that RTM card for him because we already know what he can do, and he's done it. I know he's failed a couple of times, but I mean he's done his job too. Most of the time.
Yeah,
I
agree.
mean, fair point, I guess. That makes sense. You want to go for someone who's been in the SRH setup for longer and who knows the team and the
Yeah,
culture way more. So I guess it makes sense. But yeah, Jataved Subramanian is a talent who's performed very well in the TNPL and has taken wickets and looks similar to a Yuzvendra Chahal type prospect. But I mean, as you said, you can buy him back. Probably won't go too much money either. So that's an option. The next release player I want to talk about is another like really high profile name who has done excellent for SRH over the years. King of King at bowling Yorkers, outstanding left arm seamer, excellent death bowler, bowls the tough overs, T. Natarajan. I mean, the Yorker he bowled to ABD 3 years ago in the eliminator, something I can still see in my eyes. I mean, he has an outstanding Yorker. Sometimes you can be phased by his economy last year, but you got to understand he bowled all the extremely tough overs at the death, the last over of the power play, those kind of really tough overs where you're going to go for runs. And on a pitch like Hyderabad, where runs were just being given like anything, you got to understand like his economy was actually outstanding, and he bowled all the tough overs for SRH. I'm a bit surprised with the decision to release him, but I think the five players they retained, he is a bit lower than those, so that makes sense. But I think he's definitely someone SRH should buy back, no matter how pricey he goes, even if it's 10 crores. What do y'all think?
Exactly. I agree with all of the points. I think every SRH fan likes Natarajan. He's known as the Yorker King.
Not
So,
too.
but we have no other option but to release him because we retain Max that we have retained. So, I really want to see Natarajan back in SRH, but I'm thinking it might not happen considering how other teams also have their eyes on Natarajan and considering the great player he is. So it might be a little tough for SRH to get him back, but I'd love to see him back on SRH again.
I'm sure CSK will have an eye out for him, especially him being a local. But I think it would be nice for SRH to get him back. But I mean, it's gonna be
We'll
hard.
see how auction plays out.
With with
Yeah, it's
with
gonna
our
be hard.
Yeah, with our wallet, it's gonna be a little hard. It's gonna be a little tight. Something.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many teams with like a huge purse, and I feel
Yeah.
like Nataraj is one of those guys who just never gets talked about. He's very underrated in
Mm-hmm.
that, because if you think of the Indian pacers that people mention going to the auctions, no one brings up Natarajan's name. They just say Shami, Siraj, Arshdeep, Shami, Siraj, Arshdeep. No one really brings up Natarajan's name. So that could work to SRH's favor in buying him back for a cheaper price. But I don't think auctions are as like volatile as media to not look at Natarajan. I mean, I think he only went for 4 crores last auction, right? When he was a known commodity, which is shocking
Yeah,
to me.
but one more thing I want to add on to that is Natarajan is currently injured, so I'm not sure if teams will go buy him because in a recent post I saw Natarajan had his hand something happened to his hand, so that's a thing to look at too.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, the quality of the man is undoubted. We've seen
The
him
quality
bowl
is another.
magnificent.
So that's an interesting case because he is a little bit injured. So we'll see how teams go for him. He might go unsold too. I just did bold prediction because he is injured. We'll see because
I don't think he'll go unsold. He's such a talent. Worst case, SRH will pick him back. I mean, he's not going
yeah,
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, it's like let's say that he's injured, he can't play the season. In that case, I think SRH will just pick him back up and use him for at least next season because we can hold him for the next 4 years at least.
Yeah,
So hopefully, I mean, I hope he gets to play, but also like one side is like I hope we can pick him back.
yeah, for sure. I mean, he's been such a great player for SRH over the years, and one of the key vital cogs of SRH's runs that they made to the playoffs. But yeah, moving on, the next player I want to talk about is Washington Sundar. I mean, didn't really get a chance at SRH after playing at RPS and RCB for the few years. SRH couldn't really make an impact, didn't really get much time with the bat, couldn't really show his skills with the ball either, but he's become a hot commodity over the last month based on his performance in the India New Zealand Test series. I mean,
Yeah.
the wickets he took on those pitches. I know it's a different format, but I mean, regardless of format, the way a player performs, if it's an Indian player, then everyone's eyes are on him, and you can expect him to go big in the auction. I feel that the thing for SRH was before the auction itself, he wasn't really given the opportunity to shine like this. But I also feel SRH could have potentially used him more, especially having bought him for around 8 crores, I think, at the previous mega auction. They give him his opportunities. He didn't really shine that much, but I feel such a young player who is looked at like the next Ravichandran Ashwin in terms of spin and has better batting credentials could have been given an sometimes up the order to show his batting, and also given more overs in the power play to utilize him to the best of his ability. What do y'all think? Should SRH go for him? Will they
Uh,
have the budget?
I think they'll go for him again. Actually, they will try, but they won't go too much for him because considering how we haven't utilized him that much. Once since Shahbaz game, it came to SRH, Shahbaz Ahmed via that trade that we did, Mike Dagger. It has fallen down for Washington Sundar. We did give him one or two opportunities, and he has failed to prove himself in those two
Yeah.
games, I think. And
Yeah, it was one game he got smacked by Jake Fraser McGurk in against Delhi. That one game.
yeah, and you talked about sending him up the batting order, but once we got set with the opening pair and Aiden Markham coming at number three and Klaasen after that, I didn't think SRH wanted to change that really that much because we
Yeah,
were
that's
on
what
a
I
winning
mean.
streak.
There's better batsmen already up the order who can
Exactly.
hit the ball like a long way, right?
Yeah,
So
we
why
trying
would
to.
why would we go out of our way to
Yeah,
bring Washington in when he's a bowling all-rounder?
we have
I
seen
mean,
how Abhishek Sharma,
yeah.
he can bat down the order, but we have seen how great he can do at the top of the order. So why change the winning formula? So that's why I don't think he got enough chances up the order. So considering all these things and how I think he was able Shabazz was able to prove himself over Washington in the games he got. So I think he never worked for SRH. So I think they they might go for him, but I don't think it's a good option to go back to him.
I mean, also
Yeah,
like we had a batting formula, had a batting lineup where we could post these big totals, right? 277, 287, 250, 260, it doesn't matter, right? We could post those totals with that batting lineup. So where would we go out of our way to like bring Washington somewhere close to even Klassen or Pat Cummins? Because at the time, okay, I don't know about now, but like at the time at least, it was a better option for us to go with Pat Cummins than to go with Washington.
yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I mean, Washington Sundar didn't make that impact on SRH that he was expected to and bought into the auction. I was just talking as a Washi fan personally, having seen him. He's played some outstanding innings up the order for Tamil Nadu, and he's a really good asset to have, but maybe not on SRH. But I'm telling you, if he goes into the auction with his current form, I think he'll definitely fetch over 10 crores for his dual ability and just the age on his side as well. But
Mm.
I don't think he was a great fit at SRH. But moving on, let's talk about another player who is very talented but didn't get his fair share of chances on SRH, and that's Glenn Phillips. I mean, we've seen how destructive a batter he can be at the back end of an innings, and he's bowling more and more as well in different forms of the game, his off spin, and he's turning out to be a multi-threat kind of athlete, and he can also keep wickets at worst if you don't have a keeper. So that kind of three-dimensional athlete or 3D athlete, as SRH fans might know that term. Uh, I mean, he didn't get his fair share of chances at SRH. What do y'all think about that? Should he have played more at SRH? And
I, I don't know how to answer this, honestly. I mean,
No, me
okay,
personally, I think I really like how Glenn Phillips plays. Like considering his fielding abilities, when Klaasen was not there, like for 2 3 games earlier in the last previous season, he kept the wickets too. So he's a great player. But see, again, we have a lot of talent already on that playing 11. We had the Travis Head, Henrik Klaasen, and Pat Cummins, three people that were just doing too good to remove, right? And only one spot was left. That was Aiden Markram. But considering how great player Markram is, he could come back to form anytime.
I'll
So
get back to you on that later.
I I'm not sure why you're laughing, but yeah, we'll talk on that later. But yeah, I don't think
see,
Glenn Phillips
Aiden Mark,
really fit into that.
okay, when it comes to Aiden Markham, right? He did the best job he could possibly do, okay? Like, he was given a half decent team, right? He did the best with it. Like, he tried to do whatever he could, and he did decent. But I mean, I know that
His
we couldn't do a lot, but then he also came back with a better team. So,
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to Aiden
Yeah,
Markram
we'll
in a
come
few
back
yeah.
to
minutes.
him.
But yeah, considering like all the points about Glenn Phillips, I think he would better be like I used to always think the talent that's sitting on that bench, it's better if he goes to some other team. But again, I'm lucky because he never got to face again. Oh, we never got to face against him, and we saw how great batter he is on that one game against RR. He took us from a losing position to putting in a winning position, and Abdul Samad took it from there on. But what a game that was! So he has a like power in him. He can open the batting too. He can come in the middle. He can come at the death overs and just start smacking the ball. And he can give that spin attack too. If the spin is like if it's a turning track. So, but again, like I said, we can only play four overseas.
Um,
There was no spot for him to fit in. So, I mean, you cannot do anything about that.
I personally love Glenn Phillips. I mean, he's one of the most down to earth people. I mean, he's really humble when it comes to his cricket. And yeah, and even in the games, right? When you see him, he's always like he's taking water to players. Like no attitude, right? That I'm this big international player. I'm this guy. I'm that guy. He does his job. I mean, he's simple. And he wants to be a team player. So I love him, and I hate to see him go. But I mean, the
He had
batting
no other
orders work for
option.
us. Batting
Yeah.
order works for us anyway.
I like how him being in the team also helped Nitish Kumar Reddy. Like if you see some Instagram posts, we've seen how Nitish Kumar Reddy and Glenn Phillips have both connected with each other. Either one of the videos I saw was that racing that they both did. Like I really love how he is helping young kids to grow in their like batting and fielding. So yeah, I mean
Correct.
it's sad to see him go, but I think we might not get him back too, considering how cheap we got him last time. I don't think it will happen again, but let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing I said about Mitchell Santner on CSK. It's a crime seeing such a quality player just warm the benches because there's no space to fit him into the lineup. I think he'll definitely be used a lot more in another team, which requires that middle order thrust or finisher ability. I think he's very skilled at that, and I also hope he goes to a different team that requires the skill set so he can actually play a good share of games and actually show what he's made of in the IPL
Thank you.
too.
If I can get the same team back of SRH as last year, I'll take it with two hands. Like
Yeah, but two
I
and
can
four.
take, but
Yeah.
again, it's not
You only got
happening.
45 crores left.
Yes, exactly, and that's the problem. I wished we could have played with this team once more here.
Yeah,
One
I
game,
mean, pretty sure all
one
the
game
SRH fans
changed
wish so.
the
Yeah,
next
pretty
player.
sure all of them wish so. But next player, moving on, another supreme talent, given a decent amount of chances by SRH, performed in some games, but was lackluster in others, is Marco Jansen. He's shown his great ability bowling with the new ball, swinging it both ways, picking up wickets. At the death, his abilities were kind of questionable. He was found wanting, gave up quite a few runs at the death, but great bowler with the new ball if he's used in that aspect of the game and in the middle overs primarily. And his batting has improved leaps and bounds as well. Just like a couple days back, we saw that amazing 50 against India, which
Yeah,
made them
yeah,
shiver when the game was
yeah.
basically dead and buried. Yeah, like a 17 ball 50 and batting against quality bowlers like Hardik Pandya and Arshdeep Singh as well. I mean, it wasn't a uh like a random team he was facing. He was playing India, which had most of its informed bowlers except Bumrah there. To score that kind of 50 was insane. And we've seen him play astonishing knocks in the SA T20 league as well. And he's been a good part of SRH, but feel that with the overseas players they've retained already, they can't afford to retain him. Yeah.
Agree. Mark Hansen again, it's a great player. I really love how he has played for the Sunrisers franchises, either Sunrisers Eastern Cape or Hyderabad. But yeah, he with his height, he was a lethal bowler. If it was his day, if it was his day, like no one can stop him. We've
Yeah,
seen
his
how
bouncers
he
are deadly.
Yes,
Bouncers are
exactly.
deadly.
And we've seen how he can perform against a quality bowling attack. Like in one of the SA20 games, just I'm using an example, but he came in and I think Ada Markham sent him up the order. He came in at number three and took down Rashid Khan for like he took down Rashid Khan. Like we've seen what he can
Yeah.
do with the batting. So I mean, again, like I said, we can only play four overseas, and there was most of the times there were not enough space for him to play. Like I think we played him one or two games. That's about it. And
Yeah.
those two games also, he tried his best doing good, but again, it was not his day, and we have to move on. I think he'll not come back to SRH. Like he'll be playing for Sunrisers franchise in our other league, but they'll go back to him. They'll try to get him back, but I doubt, considering his the talent he has and the talent he has shown right before the auction too against India. I
Yeah.
don't think he will get him back.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely gonna sell for more than I think 7-8 crores, right? So
Yeah,
I personally don't think we have the purse for that, and
I wish we did. I wish.
we already have a set overseas
Yeah, exactly.
deck. So I mean it just wouldn't make sense to have
Yeah,
a player like him just sit out, you know. So if
Yeah, I mean,
if he goes to other teams, he's gonna definitely gonna get chances. So it's better for him as well to go to a different franchise. But yeah, I don't think there's any scope for us to get Marco Jansen just based on the price and yeah.
yeah, I mean, with the overseas core set, I don't see y'all starting him, especially the only one overseas slot left in the starting lineup, which I think SH will go for more like overseas fast bowler who's purely a
Mm-hmm.
fast bowler at his skill and not like a dual threat, just so they can get the best value for money and get like a proper fast bowler. But I think, yeah, Jansen is a skilled talent, just played well against India. His batting's on the rise. Definitely someone to look
Mm-hmm.
out for in the auction. And like Nanish mentioned, the height, which not many bowlers have. So that's a great skill of his. Moving on, Nanish's favorite player, uh,
Aiden
previous
Markram.
SRH captain, Aiden Markram. I mean, I personally don't sync with his T20 batting. He's
Right.
been out of sorts in the T20 World Cup, in the IPL as well. He's not played many impactful innings for South Africa in the T20 format specifically, only the T20 format, or for SRH. So, I mean, when he was captain, did a decent job. He's a decent captain, but especially after his captain was taken away, he couldn't really fit in as a proper batter as well, especially in that SRH lineup, which was just going hammer and tongs from ball one. I mean, he didn't really put in those match-winning performances as well, and we saw him like get phased out of the team towards the end. Nanish, I know you love Aiden Markham, so justify him.
I mean, he is a great player. When again, we've seen what he can do with the bat, and every time he bats, it's lovely to watch him. It's just love, like the shots that he plays and the elegance that he has. It's no other. I've seen that from no other player. So, and considering how he has led, like our other franchise, sister franchise in South Africa, to two title-winning championships in 2 years itself, back to back. We thought he could do that same with Sunrisers Hyderabad in IPL. That's why he got the captaincy role, but he could not do anything with that. Considering the team that we had no stars. He got basically no chance. Basically, he was just given a bare team, and he had to play with that. And with that, he did a great job, in my opinion. If it was someone else, we could have like lost, like he at least gave us hope. That's what I'm trying to say. We would have lost hope on like day two or game two or game three, but I still had hope till the end that even last year, if it was not for Pat Cummins, if we didn't buy Pat Cummins, it was Aiden Markham that was going to captain SRH again. I I love how the team had put a lot of trust into him, and I really think they'll try to go back to him. And his form, like you said, in T20 is not that great right now, so it's a great opportunity for SRH to get him for cheap. And we know how destructive he can be once he gets into form, and I know the form is coming out soon.
I mean,
I
just
mean
reminding
also
me, y'all
like
ended last
with
place the season he captain. But I mean, I'm not doubting his captaincy, it's just his batting. But yeah, Yatin, you can go.
with Markham, right? We also so our team SRH like batting perspective, right? We're that explosive team, you know, putting big totals on the board. Yes, we are, but we also need someone who can anchor the innings. And we want Markram to take that role because not the whole team can't just be like hammer down.
Exactly.
We're gonna hit every ball. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Someone needs to anchor the innings, and Markram did that role. I mean, he tried to take that role on himself and try to. I mean, of course, you can look at it as slowing down, but it can also be looked at as like anchoring down the innings and like, making sure that we don't lose too many wickets. So that was his role that was given to him. And I mean, we know Markram. He's a really good player. He's a quality player. I mean, he captained South Africa against India in the 2024 World Cup.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah. See, I mean, I completely agree that he was meant to be an anchor role, and I am in agreement with the anchor role in T20 cricket. It's something that'll never die out. You need an anchor player who can bail you out of jail if you're in trouble playing that aggressive brand of cricket. But my problem with him was he didn't do that a lot. He didn't do that for SRH
I
last year. He
Yeah,
failed in that regard.
he was given that role, and but of course, like
He
sometimes
he
sometimes
he
it
did
doesn't.
it.
I mean,
Yeah, he did it
happens.
1 or 2 games, but he was not able to perform consistently. And again, that every player has a bad form. The form will go away. He'll get back to his good form, and I
Yeah,
think
look,
SR should.
that's cricket, right?
Yeah, this cricket.
You
We've
you
seen.
can't have your day every single day.
Yeah,
Like you'll
we've
have
seen
bad days, you'll
many
have good days. You just have to.
we've seen many great players
Yeah.
have
Mm.
like worse days. So I think, but again, SRH should go back to him, and I want him back in SRH at any cost,
Yeah.
personally.
See, my perspective is if you have an anchor, it'd be better to have an Indian batter doing that role rather than wasting an overseas slot on it. But that's just my view on it. I mean, if y'all
He
want Hayden
can,
Markram back, y'all are the fans. So
yeah, he can
No, but
also
that's
give
the
you
thing,
that
right?
few
I
hours of
mean,
spin.
we want an anchor, but we also want someone who can go off when it's needed. So Markham would not be a bad choice. He's a good choice, actually.
yeah, the
I
only issue
mean,
is though y'all have three overseas slots locked in, and you only have
correct,
one
correct,
more for
correct.
the starting lineup.
Right, yeah, but yeah, he I can't hate on him because I mean he did his best for SRH and I respect him for that because I mean he was given a shit team and he brought it back. He did his best and I mean I can't really blame him. I can only appreciate him for what he could do.
I mean,
And
he's a
we've seen
great player.
how great player he is in those 2 seasons that
Yeah,
he had played previously. So one season is just like a luck. You just got lucky
it's
to
just a
blame
matter
him.
of form. Sometimes you have your form, sometimes you don't.
Yeah,
It happens.
yeah.
I
We
mean,
can go.
if the fans want him back, then I guess SRH
Yeah.
can buy him. He won't go for too much in the auction, especially with his form currently. But moving on, the next player was traded into SRH last year from RCB, what everyone thought would be an inconsequential trade, and then he ended up producing a man of the match performance in the qualifier two last year. Shahbaz Ahmed. Personally, as an RCB fan, I really like him as a player. Can bat very well down the order, can give you those 2, 3 overs of left arm off spin when needed. And I like him as a player. I think he's a good prospect. I'm pretty sure SRH actually bidded for him alongside RCB in the mega auction, but went to RCB and then they targeted him again and got him through a trade. So I think SRH definitely do see something in him, and I think SRH will definitely bid for him again because they've seen some talent in him.
Yeah, I agree with all the points you said. I was not expecting that from Shabazz to begin with. What a player he was. He proved me wrong in the first game itself. With like he played the knock with in a losing cause with Klassen, but again it was a losing cause. But since then on, I've been a big fan of him. And he is another reason that Washington Sundar didn't get many chances. He was able to prove himself every game. Like every opportunity he got, he used to prove himself. So I think SRH should go back to him, and will I think they'll try to, and there'll be a lot of competition for him since he's uncapped. Uh, I'm not sure if he's uncapped or capped,
He's uncapped.
He's
but
capped. He's played for India.
yeah,
He's played
he's
for
capped,
India?
right?
Yeah, he's capped. He's capped.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but since a lot of people saw his talent, I think there will be a lot of competition. But I think SRH should go back again. The purse has a big mark in this.
Yeah, I mean Shahbaz Ahmed, um, we need good spin options as well. He can provide a good spin option. Um, let's see if we go for him. I think we might try at least. But all things considered, I mean, I think he would sell for maybe 3, 4 crores.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't see.
yeah, I don't see him selling for more than 5 crores. But
Yeah, me neither.
so we'll see. But we do need good spinning options.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like him as a player, so I'd really like him to go back to a team where he's actually played consistently. And his batting was actually took a step up from when he was at RCB, scored some crucial knocks at the back end, at a good strike rate as well. So definitely someone to look out for. Next player I have up is the Indian leg spinner Mayank Markande. I mean, we saw him take some crucial wickets last year when SRH needed them. Bowls slower through the air, gets wickets through the flight, and I think he's a good talent. I think he started off at Mumbai Indians first and made an impression straight away there. And then he's moved to different teams, but I felt he was finding a home at SRH. They were giving him ample opportunities, and I think he's a good talent. So, what's
Yeah,
your?
I agree with the points. I think after he has moved on from Mumbai, he has lost a little bit of steam. That's why after we let go of Rashid Khan, we tried different spinners like Adil Rashid and some other spinners, but we were not able to get the same impact. But so since that, we tried going back to Indian spinner, and that has really worked out for SRH. I really like how like even if he does bad, our captain Pat Cummins gave still said it's okay, we'll do better next game, and he's kept that confidence in him, and he has what do you call it, gave back in few games. He took crucial wickets, and I really love him. There's nothing wrong in him, but
Yeah, I know.
again,
We're definitely gonna go for him in the auction.
yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure because
yeah.
I mean, he's one of those players as well, like Abdul Samad that we're grooming, and yeah, I think we'll get him back.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think we should go.
I thought after that first game he played for Mumbai Indians, he looked the best at SRH. I mean, he was picking up wickets whenever the captain needed him.
Yeah,
Yes, he did go for runs, but I mean, for a leg spinner, you tend to go for runs. It's all about picking wickets on these tough pitches in India, and I think he
I
did a
think
good
one
job
of
with
the
that.
games, Markande picked up Kohli's wicket pretty
Yeah, I
early,
think it was that
and
Chinnaswamy Stadium massacre. Yeah.
yeah, he picked up 3 wickets I think that game, and yeah, he was a big game changer for that game. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Indian leg spinners, as I said, are hard to find. So
yeah.
trying to buy someone back like him and groom him more would definitely be a good strat. Next player up is someone who I really like. His fidgety batting stance, the way he plays.
Yeah.
Batted at number three for SRH, batted lower down the order previously for KKR. He's batted in multiple different positions. Rahul Tripathi. Now, I'm not just saying this because he shares the same name as me, but I truly think he's one of those really aggressive players. If you put him at the top of the order, give him that chance in the power play, he can really get you off to a fiery start. We saw that at Rising Pune Supergiant when he was a very young kid. We saw that at Rajasthan Royals. At KKR, he played some great knocks. And at SRH also, he owned that number three position until last year where his form started dipping. He even debuted for India between the seasons at SRH because of his impressive performances that he put up for SRH. But somewhere down the line, the he just ran out of steam, and it seemed like he was just looking to hit every ball too hard, and it's just he wasn't able to score the runs in the pace that they wanted him to. But I still think he is a good player, and I feel like if he goes to a different team or a different environment, he can still shine. What do y'all think about him?
I
He's a
all
really good
points
player.
agree. Yeah, he is
He's
a
a
really
really good
fidgety
player. I
player.
mean, I know he's fidgety and everything, but I mean, he can hit shots that you can't imagine. I mean, his inside out shots,
Oh yeah,
his
that's true.
reverse
I,
sweep shots.
After we've seen what Suryakumar Yadav can do, he's another player that I see a lot of potential,
Yeah, yeah,
similar
yeah,
potential.
definitely. I mean, he can be a good asset for India as well in future. But
Yeah,
we
again,
did give him a chance last season, but it just did not click for us. As well as Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma did. Um, it just did not click for us that well.
yeah, I just want to add on to that. Rahul Tripathi, we've seen how great player he is. The previous 2 seasons that he had played for SRH, and even last year, he did lose a little bit of form, and we dropped, well, like we benched him for a few games, and we brought him back towards the end, and we see how he really cares for the team. Like in the finals, where he was just mad at himself for playing shots that he should have
Yeah.
played. So we've seen how he really got involved with the team, but again, I don't think we'll be getting him back because I know KKR has big eyes on him. Even after SRH, he was in SRH. Every time they used to comment about Rahul Tripathi and all. So I think KKR. I have a feeling KKR might go back to Rahul Tripathi, or they like
They might
I
eye him for sure.
yeah,
They
for
might they
sure.
might eye him for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's shown his quality in the past few years, so it makes sense. He'll
Sure.
definitely go for a decent price. And personally, I'd like to see him in RCB as well, but it's just a personal wish. Okay, moving on. The next player on the list, touted to be the next big thing in Indian cricket, bowls express pace, clocked 155 clicks an hour, had like one like every game, winning the fastest ball of the game almost when that award was actually existing. Umran Malik, the Jammu and Kashmir Express. I mean, when he came onto the scene, he took the stage by surprise, and the pace he bowled at was just so encouraging. Like how we see a Mayank Yadav today, that's how we saw Umran Malik back then. And one performance he put out against Gujarat Titans where he took 5 wickets in the middle overs when Gujarat Titans seemed to be coasting was something I'll always remember. But somewhere down the line, it's just similar to Tripathi. The steam is just like it's just vanished a bit, and I feel that he's too like concentrating on the pace. The line and length hasn't been as consistent as it needs to be for a pacer at his level. But
Right.
that's something you can definitely coach. One thing I'm really surprised about is having someone like Dale Steyn as a mentor that he couldn't get those issues sorted out. But I still feel he's someone with supreme potential and someone people should target in the auction. And if SRH can get him back, someone they should target for sure.
Exactly.
Well,
India
it wasn't that
had a
it wasn't that he couldn't get it right. Um, Dale Steyn couldn't get it right. At that point, we already had a bowling lineup. We already had a set team. So changing that team would affect the group dynamics for sure, right? So I think that was one of the reasons. But Umran Malik is one of those guys that I think we would retain again because we have been coaching him, we have been grooming him for the last couple of years. So we would want him in our team and groom him well because he again is one of those players who has mad potential.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I really would like to see him in SRH again. And when Mayank Yadav didn't exist, he was like after so many years we have seen that pace bowler in him like the pace that we've seen in him. I don't think India has ever seen before Umar Malik. So considering all the talent that he has and the coaching he got from Dale Steyn, I'm a little surprised that he was not able to click. And but I really feel like giving him more like he's very young, like it will take time for him, like giving him more opportunity, get him back on SRH. It's a like it must do for SRH, but other teams also want to get a piece of Umar Malik. So I don't know how that will go, and we don't have that much budget. But let's see. Depending on where he comes in the auction, he might go a little higher or a little lower, and SRH should target him.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of teams might target him, and rightfully so. But a lot of teams also have their eyes on different bowlers as well. So Umran Malik might not make it to their top list because of how like, his line and lengths are. He's not that polished of a bowler. So even if they try him, it's going to be a little difficult um to play him well, especially in a team that he hasn't been a part of since the beginning. So switching again to a different team, to a different bowling coach, might um, go against the cohesion of his bowling and how he bowls. So we'll see it. We'll see how that goes. But I think SRH will definitely have an eye out for him.
Yeah, I mean, considering auction dynamics, with him being a bit later in the auction, we can expect a lot of teams to puncture their purses going for those marquee players early on, like the Shamis, the Sirajas, the Arshdeeps,
Right.
Pant, Rahul, which would keep SRH on more of a stable base with the other teams in terms of purse level. So definitely they can go compete for Imran Malik in the free market if they want to. But I feel he has been done unlucky a bit too. He's been hit early in the season, which never gave them an opportunity to bring him back and, ease him into a season. So I feel that's also an issue with Umran Malik. But moving on, an overseas name I'm really impressed with. One of the sensational breakouts at the T20 World Cup that just concluded. Fazal Haq Faruqi, out of Afghanistan, left arm seamer, bowls outstandingly well with the new ball, swings it both ways. He's shown some credentials at the death as well. I mean, I really like him as a player based on what I saw. Didn't get his fair share of chances at SRH, and makes sense because they had their overseas quota already logged in. He's one of those other guys, extremely talented, but just couldn't break in. And also, I feel he's just broken out pretty recently for Afghanistan as well. I expected him to fetch big bucks in the auction.
Exactly, covered all the points. We had no other option but to mention, considering we can only play
Yeah.
for overseas. Again, I really liked him before he actually broke out too. I really loved him being on SRH, and I wanted him to get playing time. But again, I guess
Yeah, I mean,
better
like
players take it.
when you have a set team, it's hard to just bring anyone in because it works
Exactly.
against the team cohesion because the team's already set. Everyone knows what their job is. Everyone knows what their role is, and to bring a new person in, right? Someone like Vijay Kant or um, Fazal Farooqi, right? It goes against with the team cohesion that and they're already set in their marks. So a pacer like Faisal Farooqi, if he comes in, the bowling lineup would have to change. It would have to evolve, and that would definitely go against it. But I mean, I know he's a quality player for sure. He's a quality player, but just the team cohesion just could not help him with it. So it
So
happens. That's how cricket is.
do y'all think y'all have the budget to go back for him? And if so, will he actually find a place in the starting lineup?
I don't think. Again, we already retained four
Yeah,
international players. Um, we'll see how auction goes, and I don't
I
think
think
it's a.
I think
He'll
he's gonna go
definitely
for
go
at
for
least
other
like
team.
10 crores, 10 crores, close to 10
Yeah,
crores.
I
He
think
has to
he'll
go
go
for
for a
that.
different team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a big hit on the budget. But yeah. But next player, my favorite on this whole roster, my boy Jaydev Unadkat. I mean, he's been moving around teams regularly, bowling the same slow off cutters that he bowls everywhere. He's been getting a pasting at
Those
various
off
venues.
cutters worked for us this last year a little bit. He because every other bowler was a little bit fast, and he when Pat Cummins wanted a slow bowler to fast slow off cutter bowler to come in, he had a weapon in Unadkat. And at one point, I thought he was a black horse for SRH. I thought he might have been a good pick,
And
but
yeah,
I think the
one
master
of the
stroke was not to give him 4 overs on some occasions because he was this close to losing y'all some games last year. I mean,
listen, I'll tell you one thing, okay? One of the games last season, he hit a six on the last ball.
oh yeah, and then
you're
he
bringing
saved
up his
the
He
batting,
hit a six
man.
on the last ball. That was the RR game.
and yeah, he won us the
That was
game
the
with
RR
that.
game.
Bro, but you're
Those
literally
runs,
judging Unadkat on his
listen,
batting.
listen. Those runs won us the game. That last ball six
Yeah, he
won us
can
the game.
bat. He can bat too. He can just come in and slog for you.
Come on. I mean, look, you've got to look at it, right? He did win us the game. Like technically, he did win us the game because without those last six runs, we would
I
have been
mean,
out.
in the
Oh,
end, it was him bowling the last over too. If I'm not wrong, so he could technically just
I
saved
think it was
himself from getting
Booby.
criticized.
no. That was
It was
Bhuvi.
Booby.
Bhuvi
Booby
bowled
was
the
Bobby,
last
booby.
one.
okay, okay. I mean, at least he himself saved himself from getting criticized. That's a good part he did on himself.
Yeah.
Oh, but if you're judging Unadkat based on his batting, the
No, but
kind of.
I'm saying he's a team player. He's a team
See,
player.
I'm not doubting that. It's just we have to look at if he has the skill currently, and I don't know if he'll go to some team in the auction, but I don't know who'll target him. Who maybe on a slowish wicket, he'll maybe on like a Lucknow surface, he might Lucknow Super Giants might target him because of the slowish nature of the wicket, whereas
I
cutters will
feel like
actually work for him.
Rajasthan might target him too.
Makes sense. I
Rajasthan
mean,
might
large
back.
boundaries,
He
large
was
boundaries.
once a 13 crore player, so he can go. He can come in.
They keep going back to him. I guess.
Yeah. Hey, great
I mean,
player.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
Okay, move on.
y'all want him back.
Yeah, I mean,
It
if
wouldn't
he
hurt.
comes cheap,
Wouldn't hurt.
wouldn't hurt. Exactly. Like I told you before, I would take the whole team back again,
It
but it
wouldn't
won't
hurt.
happen.
Okay, fine. I
Look,
mean,
Rahul,
sorry for
you're saying this, right? But we went to the final with him. With him, we went to finals.
bro. But did
Exactly.
y'all even get anything out of him?
We did get a lot of. He won us a game. What are you
Oh
talking
my
about?
God. That's with the batting, bro. Come on, man.
Okay, but
He's
he
not
won
gonna win
us.
you games with batting.
Look,
Uh,
it
no,
doesn't
no, no.
matter.
I
At the
just
end of
want
the
to say,
day,
if you're talking
uh,
about bowling, few overs he bowled very great, and I mean it was a good by Pat Cummins. Can't give him 4 overs, few games, but within the quota he got, he proved himself. He did good for SRH. He never did anything like bad in a negative way for SRH. So I think we can say he's a great player.
See, my point is if the pitches are like roads in Hyderabad and they're not gonna give slow wickets, he's not gonna be suitable at all on that wicket. But I feel he'd be more tailored for a different type of pitch where it's a bit slower and the ball sticks into the wicket a bit more. This is my opinion. I think he still has some skill in him. Like he can be useful if he's on the right team with the right usage. But yeah, moving on, the next player, batter from Bengaluru, Mayank Agarwal, who's bought in with a lot of high hopes, gave him ample starting opportunities, didn't really perform with the bat. I mean, it was a no-brainer to release him. He's just not done much with his opportunities.
It was no brainer. After I really thought he was gonna carry his Punjab performance back to SRH. Like after he got the captaincy in Punjab, he lost a little bit of steam. But I thought coming to SRH and not having the captaincy pressure on him, I thought he would get back to his old form and start hitting. But again, we never seen that from him. He turned out to be a test player that he is known for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, he has talent, right? But he's more of a test player than an actual T20 player. We can't we can't do anything about that. I mean, we did give him chances, but it just didn't click. And we just went with what clicked with us. And
Yeah,
he
but
I respect him as a player, but I mean, he was not a good fit for Sarge.
exactly, and okay. Apart from his playing, I really love his personality, and we've seen how he was supporting his other teammates doing good, and he never what do you call regretted and said, okay, I'm not carrying this drinks anymore. I want playing time. He never said that. So, but like personality wise, she's very good as a player for T20. Little bit off if we have the talent we have right now.
I mean, yeah, his time with Punjab Kings opening the batting with KL Rahul was something sensational. I mean, he was racking
I
up
really,
numbers, playing at such a great strike rate.
I mean,
yeah, I
look,
really hope.
T20 cricket is not for everyone, right? If T20 cricket was for everyone, then Pujara would be playing T20 cricket right now.
Yeah, I really hope
Yeah.
I get to see Mayank and KL Rahul back together at RCB next year.
Please, sir, I don't want Mayank
No,
Agarwal on
no.
my team.
We
Please,
want
no.
we want to send him to RCB.
I don't want Mayank Agarwal on my team,
We'll
please.
we'll pack him in a box. We'll put a bow on it. We'll give it to RCB.
Nah, I'm good with that. I'm good if he goes to
Yeah.
another team. But yeah,
Okay.
moving
Next up,
on, couple of uncapped players, Anmolpreet Singh, Sanveer Singh. Anything y'all have on them?
they both got few chances to play and they played few good games. Anmolpreet Singh and Sanveer Singh. Again, again, you cannot retain these players. They'll try to get him back for base price.
Technically can RTM them if you want, but y'all said you want Abdul Samad.
Abdul Samad, of course. Yeah, but I think they'll try to get them back in SRH. If not, some other team might also go for them. I'm not sure how they're performing in domestics. I've never looked at their stats. Yeah, I think SRH should go back.
They're
Will
good. They're good. They have good talent. They're really good talented players. And I've seen a couple of interviews of them, and
Okay.
they're down to earth, and they're Punjabis, and we know how Abhishek Sharma is a Punjabi too, and that helps. That also helps with team cohesion because I mean, if you have more people from your state or from the people then it also helps you. So they're good talents. I would not be surprised if SRH bought them back, um, because they can add value, of course, to the team. They can be good finishers, especially with Anmolpreet Singh. He's a good finisher. Sanvi Singh is
opener
a
too.
huh
Opener.
opener too. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and no, Sanvi Singh is an opener.
No,
Oh,
no,
I think
getting
y'all
it mixed
switched it
up.
on.
Yeah, you're
Anmolpreet
getting
is the
mixed up.
opener. I think
Anmanpreet the opener,
Sanveer's.
Sanveer is a finisher.
Really?
Yeah,
And
Okay, all
Sanveer,
right,
if I'm
all
mistaken,
right.
Sanveer
So
Singh can not mistaken, Sanveer Singh can also bowl, right?
exactly. Yeah, he can bowl.
yeah, he can both.
And we seen that great catch from him that other game.
Yeah.
Him and Nitish Kumar Reddy and Bhuvi has offered that award finally to both of them too. So yeah,
They're really good players. I mean, do have a chance of buying them back, and they'll be good assets to the
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, the last two players, the swapped guys. You bought one, didn't show up, then so got the other as a replacement. Wanindu Hasranga and Vijay VS Kant. I mean, we all know the talent of Wanindu Hasranga. He's one of Sri Lanka's key players. There was one season he played in the Sri Lanka Premier League, I think, Lanka Premier League, where he was the highest run scorer and the highest wicket taker at the same time. No doubting his ability. He was second to Yuzvendra Chahal in the purple cap race like 2 years back, I think, when he was on RCB. He's a great leg spinner, can contribute with the bat. Uh, Also, although it's not shown off in the IPL, but I don't know how much y'all like him after he decided to say goodbye after only getting 1.5 crores in the auction.
I really don't like him after what he has done. See, if you're getting 2 crores, that means your value was 2 crores. Saying that, you cannot just be like, oh, I'm not going to play this year, and just start like skipping. And I really thought IPL should have banned him. I really like I really don't like him anymore.
I'm happy the rule came in place this year
Now
for
it
the
is, yeah.
banned players. Yeah.
But again, if there's no other spinners, I think SRH will go back to try and get him back. But considering how Muttiah Muralidharan is there, he'll get the Sri Lankan players. Um, so yeah,
I mean, look, we expected big things from him.
exactly.
From right from the get go. I mean, we were expecting another Rashid Khan out of him. Um, but when he abandoned us, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't like abandonment, right? So we won't really support him. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think SRH management would trust him to get him back.
I don't think
So that
Yeah.
yeah,
His replacement, Vijay Kavya, he did play 1 or 2 games. I really thought we saw something in him, but again, he was very young. I think he
yeah.
really needs a little more time to get improved. And considering he's overseas, I don't think we can what do you call that?
That
Spend that
slot,
much.
yeah, that slot wouldn't be justified.
Exactly. So I think other teams might go for him, and he might need little bit of grooming still. So that's that. And anyone else have anything to say?
No, that's all the players we went
No,
through first.
we're missing 2 players, Upendra Singh Yadav and Akash Singh. They
Okay,
both are
both
part of
uncapped.
both uncapped. They are also part of
Okay.
Sunrisers.
Okay.
I really thought Akash Singh would get some chance.
He
Last
played for
year.
CSK that 1 year, right?
Yes, exactly. And he did decently that for CSK too. So I thought he would have got some chance. But again, there's a lot of talent that was on roster, so he never got. And Upendra Singh Yadav, I think I heard a lot of great things about him. So
I've heard a lot of things about him. Yeah, too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Expect him to be bought back to Surge.
Yeah.
Look,
But
we
yeah,
want
that's
we want good Indian talent, right? So, um,
Exactly.
we had good Indian talent, but most of the auction we lost most of it. But we hope to bring at least most of them back.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. We'll talk about our auction strategies in the next video. That's it for the released players. See you guys in the next video.